저 오늘 공연 끝나고 할 말이 있는데요. 딱 한 명한테요. 그 사람은 알아들을 거예요.
No. This could be a problem. JFK International Airport. Arrivals gate. 11:40 in the morning. 6 suitcases lined up in a row under the fluorescent lights. Nova. 6 years since debut. 3 weeks straight at the top of the Billboard chart. 3 days until their show at Madison Square Garden. Their leader, Hajun's face, gave nothing away. Showing emotion at an airport was a luxury he couldn't afford. That day, though, the luxury showed up first. Manager Choi came hurrying over with his phone pressed to his ear, looking like he'd aged 10 years overnight. Hajun, I need to tell you something. Again? Interpreter Kim was in a car accident early this morning. 2 broken ribs. Hajun closed his eyes for a moment. 3 months of prep for this New York run. 12 press interviews lined up. Without an interpreter, the whole thing falls apart. 3 days. Just get through 3 days. We found a replacement. She's on her way now. Manager Choi didn't even get to finish his sentence. The automatic doors slid open. Sophia James, 26, freelance interpreter, top score on the Korean language proficiency test. And right now, she was sprinting through the arrivals hall, dragging a suitcase with one hand and holding an iced Americano in the other. I'm so sorry traffic was insane. I'm Sophia James. I'm your interpreter starting today. She was out of breath. Coffee was leaking through the lid, but her eyes didn't waver for a second. Hajun looked at those eyes for exactly 2 seconds. Then he looked away. You're late. Yeah, I know, but I'm here. A quiet laugh rippled through the Nova members. Manager Choi broke into a cold sweat. Hajun said nothing. He just looked back over one more time, 1 extra second. 40 minutes by car from the airport to the hotel. Sophia rode in the front seat. Hajun sat at the far end of the back row. The members each did their own thing. Some threw on headphones. One fell asleep almost instantly. Another stared out the window. The car was quiet, except for one person. Can I go over the schedule real quick? I want to review the question list for the E channel interview this afternoon. Sure, I'll send it to your email. Thanks. Also, if any of the members have a preferred pace for interpreting, it'd really help to know ahead of time. Some people like it broken up into short chunks. Others prefer everything in one go. Manager Choi's eyes went wide. No interpreter had ever asked that before. In the back seat, Hajun was looking out the window. Still no expression. But he hadn't put his earbuds in. First time all day. She's kind of loud. By his standards, that was a compliment. Check-in took 15 minutes. After the members disappeared into the elevator, the lobby was nearly empty. Sophia found a corner sofa and opened her laptop. The question list came first. Hajun had already hit the elevator button, but he stopped. Turned around. Have you eaten? Sorry? Lunch. Did you eat? I'm good. Let me just get through this question list. Interviews at 3. It's 12:30 right now. Sophia looked up from her laptop. Looked at him. Are you hungry? A brief silence. The elevator doors opened. Hajun stepped in. Just before the doors closed.
통역사가 제 말을 이렇게 잘 알아들은 건 처음인데 문제가 좀 생길 것 같네요.
The doors shut. Sophia stared at her laptop screen for 5 full seconds. Then she laughed out loud, to no one. What is wrong with this guy? Afternoon sunlight poured through the lobby windows. Inside the elevator, Hajun found himself thinking about what he'd just said, whether he meant it as a joke or not. The next morning, the rehearsal was at the Madison Square Garden backstage. Set check, sound tests, lighting cues, 50 crew members moving all at once. Sophia was right in the middle of it. Tablet in one hand, earpiece in the other. She moved back and forth between the American crew and the Korean team without missing a beat. Tell the leader we need him on stage for the sound check. Center mic 30 seconds. Hajun, can you stand at the center mic for about 30 seconds? Just a sound check. Hajun walked up to the stage, stood at the mic, didn't do anything, just stood there, and a lighting crew member stopped what he was doing. The sound director put down his pen. Sophia kept looking at her tablet. Sophia, yeah, you know you're the only person in this room not looking at me right now? I'm not looking at you either. I'm looking at the schedule. Tayo, the youngest member, slapped a hand over his mouth from the side of the stage. Hajun let out a quiet laugh, one beat behind. Tayo was the only one who saw it. That afternoon, the E-Channel interview. 3 cameras, 5 lights, 1 host. Sophia stood one step behind and to the side of Hajun. The interview went smoothly. For the first 30 minutes. So, Hajun, what's the one thing you miss most when you're on tour? Like, what makes you feel like yourself again? Sophia interpreted into Korean. Hajun thought for a moment. Then he answered, sleep. Sophia put it back into English. Sleep. The host laughed. The cameras kept rolling. Then Hajun added something, barely above a whisper, just under the mic. And 5 minutes where nobody expects anything from me. Sophia paused. She didn't interpret that part. The host didn't notice. Neither did the cameras. Hajun looked straight ahead. So did Sophia. Both of them pulled off the pretending not to make eye contact thing remarkably well. After the interview, walking back down the hall toward the green room, the members were up ahead. Sophia was typing the next schedule into her tablet as she walked. Earlier, the part you didn't interpret. Sophia didn't slow her stride. It wasn't something that needed to be on camera. How do you decide that? I just know. Hajun looked at her. Sophia looked at her tablet. I perform in front of millions of people around the world. So why is it that you're the only one who makes me nervous? Sophia finally looked up from her tablet. Is that directed at me, or are you just thinking out loud? You tell me. You're good at that. Sophia walked ahead. Hajun followed. The fluorescent light at the end of the hallway kept flickering. Once, twice, 3 times. Under that flickering light, Sophia laughed. The kind where you tried to hold it in and completely failed. Late that evening, the day's schedule wrapped up. Sophia was grabbing her coat in the hotel lobby when Tayo came bounding over. The youngest in Nova. 23. Big Eyes never shuts up. Sophia, we're heading to this Korean BBQ spot down the street. Come with us. Hajun said it's cool. Hajun said that. Yeah. He's not coming, though. Says he's tired. Sophia thought about it for a second. Sure, I'm in. The restaurant was 3 blocks from the hotel. Tayo, Jiwoo, and Minseo walked ahead. Sophia was following behind when she turned her head. Through the lobby glass, Hajun was standing there, watching. His eyes met Sophia's. Hajun looked away first. If he's so tired, what is he doing in the lobby? The evening wind cut across 3 New York City blocks. Even as she buttoned up her coat, Sophia looked back one more time. The lobby was already empty. The night before the concert. Past midnight. Sophia was in her hotel room, going over the draft for the encore segment the next day. Which parts Hajun would say in English, which parts needed interpreting, what to do if he went off script. Her notebook was full. Her phone rang. Hayeon, you asleep? I'm working. Come outside. Right now? Do you know what time it is? I know. Come anyway. Sophia stared at her phone. Stayed like that for about 30 seconds. Where? Hajun laughed. Loud enough to come through the phone. Out the hotel's back door was a narrow alley. Past the alley, a path that ran along the Hudson River. Past midnight in New York, but not exactly empty. A jogger, an older man walking his dog, a couple on a bench splitting a beer. Hajun had his cap pulled low, mask on too, but it didn't cover his eyes. If you wanted to go for a walk, you could have just told your manager, I don't want to take a walk with Manager Choi, so you can tell me. You're not a fan. Sophia stopped walking for a second. That's your reason? The biggest one. The river caught the glow of the streetlights and rippled. They walked side by side. Neither of them talked. But it wasn't awkward. Which was the strange part? Halfway down the path, there was a worn-out bench. Hajun sat first. Sophia sat too. A reasonable amount of space between them. Are you nervous about tomorrow? No, liar. Hajun looked at her. Why would you say that? During rehearsal today, when you grabbed the center mic, your fingers moved. Just a little. Hajun looked down at his right hand, opened and closed it. You saw that? I was looking at the schedule. Hajun gave a quiet laugh. Turned to look at the river. 6 years. I've been doing this for 6 years, and my hands still shake. Not something I can tell the fans. I'm not your fan. That's exactly why I can say this. You look really worn out right now. Hajun didn't answer. The river breeze passed through. The brim of his cap lifted slightly. I know. Believe me, I know. Those words never made it out. It was nearly 2 a.m. when they made it back to the hotel. Hajun stopped at the mouth of the alley. Sophia. Yeah. Thanks for tonight. Even though we barely talked. Sometimes not talking is the whole point. Hajun started to say something else. Stopped. Sophia had already turned and was heading toward the back door. That's when it happened. From somewhere in the dark across the alley, a shutter click. Barely a sound. But Hajun heard it. 6 years had trained his ears for exactly that. We got photographed. His expression went flat. Sophia still had no idea. She was reaching for the door handle when she turned back. You coming? Hajun walked in like nothing happened, because that's how you survive in this world. But the second he got to his room and turned on his phone, it was already up. Someone's Twitter account. 2 blurry photos. A man in a cap and a woman beside him. The hashtag was simple. Nova Hajun spotted in NYC. 10,000 retweets in under 30 minutes. An hour later, Manager Choi called. Then the label's head of AR. Then the PR director. Hajun, it's blowing up online. Don't say anything right now. And don't reach out to Sophia either. Sophia didn't do anything wrong. I know that. But right now, we need to get ahead of this. The call ended. Hajun sat on the edge of his bed, staring at his phone. Who is Sophia James? Comment after comment, digging, all pointing at the silhouette of the woman in the photo. Meanwhile, in Sophia's room down the hall, she was looking at the same thing. Her face was blank. She quietly pulled out her suitcase. Let's take a second here. Hajun had lived inside millions of people's eyes for 6 years. But in just 2 days, one person who expected absolutely nothing from him completely broke through. When people are truly exhausted, what they're looking for isn't a quiet place. It's someone who looks at them quietly. Sophia wasn't anything extraordinary. She just saw Hajun as Hajun. That was enough. 4 in the morning. Sophia's suitcase was about half packed. Clothes, laptop, chargers. Her hands moved slowly. She knew she needed to hurry. Her hands didn't seem to agree. A knock at the door. Who is it? No answer. Sophia opened the door. Hyun, but not alone. Behind him, all 3 Nova members stood in a line. Tayo, Jiwoo, Minseo, each one dragging a suitcase. In their pajamas, eyes barely open. Hey, Sophia, we're all heading out together. I'm sorry, what? So the press doesn't know who to follow. All 4 of us go out at the same time. Sophia looked at each of them, one by one, then looked at Hajun. Does the label know about this? Nope. What about Manager Choi? Probably asleep. Sophia leaned against the doorframe. She was trying not to laugh. Her chin gave her away a little. These guys can't be serious right now. 4:30 in the morning. 4 suitcases rolled out through the hotel's front entrance at the same time. 2 members of the press were waiting outside. Cameras up. Then they froze. They had no idea who to follow. Tayo and Jiwoo broke left. Minseo broke right. And Hajun walked straight ahead with Sophia. It was, objectively, the least sophisticated plan ever. Somehow it worked. 1 block later, Sophia completely lost it. The kind of laugh you try to hold back and totally fail at. What even is this? It's a plan. Whose plan? Hajeon Hyung's. He just told us to grab our suitcases and follow him. Sophia looked over at Hajun. He was looking straight ahead. His ears had gone slightly red. A little too red to blame entirely on the cold New York air. The members peeled off at a convenience store. They had good instincts that way. Just Hajun and Sophia left. Dawn of the concert day? Guess I'm bringing my suitcase back upstairs. Yeah. Hyun. Yeah. My contract ends after the show tonight. You know that, right? Hajun stopped walking. I know. So after tonight, we're done. No more reason to see each other. I know. Sophia grabbed the handle of her suitcase, turned to face him. Hyun, I'm getting on a plane tomorrow, and I'm never coming back to this industry. But before I go, I just have to ask one thing. Those looks you keep giving me, are they real? The early morning wind moved through the alley. A streetlight blinked. Once. Hajun looked at her. No cap, no mask. Just his face. First time she'd seen it like this. Do you really need to ask the one person who only ever picks out what's real? Sophia didn't answer. She stood there gripping the suitcase handle, her face somewhere between laughing and crying. The New York dawn held that expression for a long, quiet moment. Walking back to the hotel, the members were up ahead. Tayo slipped in next to Hajun. Hey, so how'd it go? Go to sleep. Sleep? Your face is literally still red. Hajun gave Tayo a light shove on the back of the head. Tayo snickered and jogged ahead. Hajun stopped. In front of the hotel entrance, Sophia glanced back at him. Just for a second. Then she went inside. Tomorrow. That was it. One word. The promise Hajun made to himself the night before the concert. Once it was over, he would say it. As himself. Concert day. Madison Square Garden backstage looked like a war zone. 100 crew members moving at once. Manager Choi had 2 earpieces in one connected to the label, one to the floor director. Sophia stood off to the side backstage. No official duties today. Her contract had ended yesterday, but she couldn't make herself leave. Hajun came out in his stage outfit. Black jacket, white shirt. Hair swept back. Backstage Hajun looked different from airport Hajun. He had to. This was the stage. But the moment he spotted Sophia, for just 1 second, he was just Hajun. You came. Just wanted to watch, since it's the last time. Whether it's the last time or not, we'll talk about that after the show. Manager Choi came rushing over. Time to go. Hajun followed, but looked back once. Said nothing. Neither did Sophia. That 1 second felt longer than it should have. The show started. Tens of thousands of voices hit the ceiling at once. Lights exploded. Nova took the stage. Hajun stood center. Sophia was at the very back of the staff area. She wasn't official crew, but no one kicked her out. Tayo had quietly slipped her a staff pass. The show was flawless. 2 hours and Hajun didn't crack once. His hands didn't shake. Or maybe they did no way to tell from the outside. For the first 30 minutes, Sophia watched with her arms crossed. The next 30, her arms were at her sides. The last hour, she just watched. Couldn't look away. Oh, so this is how people become fans. She finally got it. Encore time. The crowd erupted again. Hajun walked back out. Then he stopped. He pulled out his earpieces. Right, then left. Slowly. Manager Choi went rigid on the side of the stage. The label's executive VP stood up from the monitor station. The whole thing was being live-streamed worldwide. Hajun walked to the edge of the stage. Not the center, the very edge. He looked out toward the staff area. Tens of thousands of people held their breath. He raised the mic. In Korean, "After the show tonight, I have something to say. To one person. They'll know what I mean. No subtitles. No interpreter." The crowd stirred. The live stream chat exploded. What did he say? What did he say? Who is he talking to? In the back of the staff area, Sophia covered her mouth with both hands. Is he seriously right now? Hajun walked back to center, put his earpieces back in, launched into the encore like nothing had happened. Tens of thousands screamed. The live stream kept rolling. But in that moment, on that stage, Hajun's eyes moved just once toward the staff area. People spend their whole lives looking for the one set of eyes that sees them exactly as they are. Hajun had been surrounded by millions of eyes and still felt alone. Then, in just 3 days, one person who expected nothing changed everything. If that's not how love starts, what is? When you look closely at the moment you started falling for someone, it's almost never the version of them up on stage. It's the version with the cap pulled low, walking through an empty street before sunrise. Hajun wasn't drawn to Sophia because she was extraordinary. He was drawn to her because she let him just be Hajun. If we're honest with ourselves, most love stories begin in exactly that moment when someone gives you permission to stop performing. The most unguarded glance reaches deeper than any roar of a crowd ever could. That's what these 3 days in New York left behind. This story is a work of fiction,